guys, this is Dee. Thank you for listening to my earlier video, that psychotic little rant I had in the parking lot outside of my appointment. I'm sorry about that, but I had to post it because when I watched it afterwards, it was pretty funny, so I was pretty upset. But today's video, I want to do a little something different. Now, originally, I had thought about this. Oh, I'll tell you about my hair first of all. I was pink. Now I'm blonde. Do you remember that beautiful, like, human hair blonde wig that I was so excited to get? And then I got it and I did some stuff to it and it needed to get fixed. So it got fixed. And when I got home today, I got a call that it was fixed and back and ready. So out came the extensions and I've got my human hair back. So away with the pink. As fun as that was and as much as I loved it, the human hair is always better. So anyways, there's that. But back to the video. I wanted to do this video, and originally I thought it would be in a nursing perspective. It would be just for nurses and new nurses and young ones. But then I thought later, while I was thinking about how I would go through the video, I was like, this isn't a nursing issue. This is like a feminine issue. This applies to women of all ages, particularly the younger ones, only because I feel like us older gals have this figured out already. I didn't have this figured out when I was young, but I do now. I certainly do. So I imagine that other women do by the time they get a little bit older too. So it's about being that girl. So you know that girl that when she's in your, if you're young, she's in your class, everybody like wants to sit around her. Or when she walks into a coffee shop, everybody knows she's there. When she walks through the hallway of your office, if you're young and you're a young professional woman, or your university, everybody knows her presence. Like, her presence is always, everyone's aware of her presence. Everyone, she owns the room wherever she happens to be. Christmas parties, anywhere you go. It's not about her looks. It's not about any of that. Although you might feel like it is. You might think, you might compare yourself to her and think, oh, like, damn, I wish I wore, or she's wearing a pantsuit and I wore a dress. Darn, I should have wore pants, or this kind of stuff. Like, you think you almost use her, this girl, as like how you compare yourself. But that's not, it has nothing to do with what this gal's wearing or how she looks or anything like this. It's about confidence. So the most attractive quality, I believe, a human can have, particularly a female, is to be confident in herself and in her own skin and in her own talents and abilities and her strengths, and know her weaknesses, but in her looks, and just to in what she has to offer as a person, as a human, as a partner, as a friend, as a sister, as everything. Like, it's just your inner confidence, right? So these gals seem to, and I don't know why some girls have it naturally and some girls don't. Some girls have to work for it. I didn't have it naturally when I was young. It's something I learned and I grew into, and I have confidence now. I'm confident in myself, but it's something I grew into. And for most women I know, that's their experience. But there are those that they're just confident from the time they're young, and they value themselves no matter what above anything else, and they just have confidence. So, and this is an attractive quality, and it attracts other people. So this is why I believe these girls stand out. So if you want to be that girl, you want to be your best self and be the girl that you want to be noticed when you walk in a room. You want to be someone who draws other people in, and you make other people comfortable, and you're approachable, and you're all of these things. The best way to be that way is to work on your confidence and to improve in that area. So there's things that specifically take away from our confidence or make us look like we're not. And with confidence, it's one of those things where you can fake it till you make it. So there's a few things in life where you can fake it till you make it, and that's one of them. So even if you don't feel 100% confident, there's things you can do to look like you do. So for instance, being a fidgety person, that's a sign that you're not confident. Speaking very quickly, when you're nervous, when you're unsure of yourself, when you're not sure of or confident in what you're saying, you'll speak quickly. You'll make less eye contact with people. Like even during COVID, I mean, a good handshake used to be the way. Good handshake with eye contact used to be the way to display confidence right off the bat when you met someone. And after COVID, that's not the way now. But I mean, there's nothing more welcoming and demonstrating of your confidence than a warm smile and a nice, like a warm smile and good eye contact and a nice hello, right? So you can still demonstrate that without shaking somebody's hand the way we used to do that. Making sure you're speaking slowly and you're calm and you're not fidgeting. Your posture, make sure you're confident in your stance. You're not shrugging and like, you know, like looking around with your head hanging down, shoulders tense and nervous. And you want to have a relaxed posture. You want to be standing tall. You want to be proud of yourself and confident in whatever space you're in, wherever you happen to be. What else? Those are the big ones I can think about. The other one is being confident when you speak. If you're in a conversation with people in a group and you have something to contribute to that conversation, speak up, contribute. If you don't know what the heck they're talking about, then don't. Then just be a really great listener. And I can't stress enough how important making good eye contact is with people. Even if you don't have anything to say in a group conversation, keeping eye contact and active listening keeps you in the conversation, even if you have nothing to add to it. It makes you a part of it still, as opposed to someone who's like staring off and like fidgeting or playing with their phone, or you know what I mean? Someone who just happens to be standing there. That keeps you engaged and in the group. That's an important one. So this is something that can benefit all of us, and we can always, all of us can always do better at this. We can always improve in this area, and I'm aware of it. I try to do it. I'm a sloucher when I'm sitting down, when I'm in places, and when you're in professional environments, you're going to be sitting during conferences and meetings and stuff like that. So I have to be aware to make sure I'm sitting up straight. My posture is good, that sort of thing. So I don't look like I'm half aware and half somewhere else and half in the room. Like, so I look like I'm aware, I'm paying attention, I'm present, my presence is known, and I look like I know what's going on. I'm confident that I know what's going on, and that I understand the material, and that I'm just being engaged, right? So this is something I'm constantly conscious of, and I try to make sure I'm aware of. The other thing, the only other exception to this is when it comes to the nursing. Now, when I originally thought of this, I thought of this with regards to nursing, because you're going to have situations where you're doing new things for the first time. So this one's for new nurses. In some cases, you can fake it till you make it. So you got to, when you're doing your first IVs, when you're doing your first injections, you know how to do that. You've run through it a million times with your preceptors. You've done it in clinicals, maybe. But with your buddy nurses, when you first start in a new nursing area, you've ran through it with them. You do it in the hallway outside your patient's room. You run through it again, the process. And I've done it. I've been there. Everyone's been there. You go through it. And then you walk into the patient's room and you feel. So you need to make sure when you're walking into a patient's room, even if this is your first time doing a nursing skill, that you look like you know what you're doing. Go through it again. Don't be too busy talking if it's going to distract you and you're going to get disoriented and forget your steps and what you need to do. Just pay attention and focus on what you need to do. Lay everything you're going to need out, get it all out, lay it out in order so you're able to go like 1, 2, 3, like you do your stuff in order, get it done. If it helps you, tell your patient, I'm a little nervous, I'm a new nurse, I've done this before, it's not my first time, even if it is your first time. Say I've done this before, but it is a new skill for me and I'm just nervous every time I do this. Like I'm nervous. So just if I'm quiet, don't take offense to it. I'm just concentrating, that's all. So you can do that. You can do that, and most times people are going to be like, "God, don't worry about it," and they understand. Everyone knows there's new learners in every profession, and that's how every profession is. Everyone starts somewhere, so that works. But like with your meds, you're going to be uncomfortable. I had a nurse when I was in nursing school who reamed me and tore a strip off me up and down one day because she asked me what a medication was used for, the on and off label uses, and why my patient was receiving it. And I didn't know all the answers to those questions. And she, oh my God, she like verbally gave me a beating, and I needed it. I deserved it. And that's one thing you should always know. Every medication you're going to give, you want to know why you're giving it, what it's used for, off-label uses, labeled uses, and why your patient's getting it. And that way you'll never make a mistake, because for instance, if you're given insulin, you walk into a patient's room, you need to know if that patient isn't diabetic, why the hell are you giving them insulin, right? So you need to know these things. So when you get your list, your doctor gives you your orders for a certain patient, your patient's in room 29 or whatever, you got your orders, look up your patient, look what their health conditions are. If you don't, you're not familiar with those meds, and you'll get familiar with the meds over time, especially depending on the unit you're on. You'll see the same meds pop up over and over again. So you'll do this a few times, you'll look them up, and then you'll know. But you look up your meds, just quick look them up in the CPS or in the computer, whatever you guys have on hand, and find out what the medications are for, what they do, how they work, how they're metabolized, and what the conditions are that they're used for. And know your patients. Every patient you have, when you first take them on at the beginning of your shift, look over their health conditions, look over everything they've got, look what brought them in, what's their presenting condition, and you'll know exactly why you're giving what meds to who. And if you have any obscurity around that, or you're not sure, you just ask another nurse. You ask your buddy nurse if you're new, or if you don't have a buddy nurse anymore and you're still unsure, just grab another nurse and say, "This is my patient, he's got this and this, and I'm giving this. That makes sense to you, right?" And the nurse will say, "Yeah," or she'll look at it and say, "Yeah, but the dose doesn't," or "Yeah, the dosage looks right," and that sort of thing. And that's how we avoid accidents. I know I've talked about medical errors and medication errors before, and how it takes a whole lot of mistakes along the way for an error to make it to the patient. And that's how we avoid it. That's how we stop these things in motion before an error actually makes it to the patient's bedside. So that's one where if you're not confident, you're going to double check. But other than that situation, when it comes to nursing skills and stuff, double check, run through it with the nurse before you go in, and fake it till you make it. Act like you're confident. Act like you've done it a million times if that makes you feel better. That's how I ended up getting comfortable giving IVs. I remember telling patients I was nervous didn't help. And I remember telling them, and it didn't help me, because they were always like, "That's fine, no problem, no big deal." And I stayed nervous until I started I was like, you know what, I got to do this differently, because I'm not getting any better. Like, I'm still like shaky and nervous. So I just started acting like I was a pro. I'd done this a million times, and like I was fine. And all of a sudden it started working out. So like I started acting like I was confident, behaving that way. I spoke more slowly. I acted more confident in my actions and more sure of myself. And over time, that worked. I became confident, and I knew what I was doing. And it was like that. It's like very quickly, that's what worked for me. So that's one way to overcome it if you're with regards to nursing anyways, because I know I was going to talk to you guys about how it applied to nurses. Other professions, of course, I don't know how it works because I'm not familiar with those, but I'm sure it's the same sort of stuff. But in general, just in general in life, that's how what I wanted to discuss the most. Just like in every situation this applies. If you want to be more you want to be one of those people that draw people to you more. You want to be more of an individual who makes people comfortable. You're easy to talk to. You're approachable. You're someone who people are drawn to connect with, and that's how you do it. And I don't think it's anything other than just people who are very self-confident, very self-aware. They're mindful of themselves and their environment. They're mindful of how they present themselves and how they behave and how they speak, and just all of those things that surround how they're present in that room and within that group of people and where they are at that time. So that's all I really wanted to talk about. And I think I was thorough about it. And yeah, I think that's I think that covers it. It's just about being that's just one of those things about being feminine. I mean, I don't know if guys have the same experience, but I know girls do, and we do from a very young age. I know from a very young age, we're very aware of those girls that do seem to have it all and seem to be very confident in their own shoes, and they're good at everything. They're comfortable with everything. And they seem to always know what they're doing, know where they're going, it seems like they're set. And it's not that they have all that. They're just like you and me and everybody else. They're just confident. So we can all be that way. We can all have that and appear that way. We've just got to work on building our own confidence and looking at where we're weak and where we're showing signs of where we're lacking a little bit, and work on that. Be mindful of it and be present wherever we are and be aware and try to improve whenever we get the chance. So that is all. And I think this was an important video to make. I hope it was helpful for you guys. If you have anything to add to it, or if you disagree, like, comment on it. Leave me a comment. And yeah, I think that's it for tonight. I think that's all I wanted to say. And this video's been on my mind for a while. It's been one I wanted to talk about, but I didn't really know how to attack it, how to really get the message across that I was trying to. And I think I got it. So it took me a couple days to figure it out, but there we have it. So I hope you guys have a great evening and a relaxing one, and I hope you had a good Monday. And the rest of the week will be lovely, I'm sure. So that is all, and I will see you guys all very soon. Take care and have a good night. Bye-bye.